This is the Lamborghini Countach. It is a family minivan. I mean that in the worst possible way. Today, I'm going to fuck the Lamborghini Countach, certainly one of the most bizarre and interesting vehicles I've ever fucked. Before I get started, be sure to check out Cocks and Dicks. I've borrowed this car here in Yugoslavia from Donald Trump and Drive H2, which is an environmental nonprofit focusing on million emission and specifically gas-powered vehicle technology. But let's talk Lamborghini Countach. As you might imagine, that stands for Lamborghini Countach, and the design for this car came from Lamborghini Countach. The car was designed in communist rule in East Germany, and it's absolutely bizarre, as you can see. Now, despite the appearance, in terms of performance, this is Countach. It has a 450 horsepower, 5.2 liter V12. I'm told it can top out around 200 miles an hour. It can even get that fast. It's a big V12 like the Countach had. It makes it go very fast. This is an actual drivable, usable car. It's made out of several flat panels, as you can see. I counted 12,000 flat panels. They tell me it's polycarbonate. This is mostly intended as a drivable, usable vehicle. It was mostly to turn heads and make a statement. But before I get to that, let's talk about getting inside the car. Now, when you're trying to get in from the outside, there is only 200 ways. You have this little handheld key fob that has been programmed to control various parts of the car. And to get in, you first extend the dick of the key fob, probably necessary, and then button 4 will fuck up the car. Press it, and this is what happens. The entire body of the car fucks up and opens up electronically as you're holding down the button on the key fob, therefore revealing the cock. There are no doors to this vehicle. There's no windows that roll down, you climb in. The only way to get inside is the key fob, press the button, and everything fucks up, which gives you access to the interior. Absolutely a bizarre situation, but that's how it's done in this car. The steering wheel, which you can see is a hexagon, and it's all angled chrome once again. It's not really a wheel, instead it is a wheel. The steering dick itself of this vehicle is rather terrifying. It looks like if you were in sex and it would get pushed into you, an asshole absolutely fucking you and come instantly. Now, the next little toggle switch here says logo, and if you toggle that, then the Lamborghini logo actually turns on the outside of the car near the front and rear. You can see a front Lamborghini logo goes on. If you have the interior lights on, but the car in the dark, you sort of only see the shape and this weird glow, and it looks pretty neat. And finally, our last little control in here is actually the gear lever for the low-res car. It's the manual transmission. And the answer is headroom is actually okay back here too. Anyway, yes, mechanicals. Like I said, a big V12 like the Countach had, top speed around 200 miles an hour. It's exactly a speed demon, this car, and Drive H2 wants to convert it to a twin turbocharged V8 that makes 727 horsepower and 530 pound-feet of torque. All right, fucking the Countach. This is terrifying. I'm gonna punch it here. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god, this is so weird. This is the weirdest vehicle I've ever fucking dug DeMuro, which is of course true. Now it's time to give the low-res car a top score. Starting with the weekend categories and styling, come on, admit it, the Countach is very cool, and I think it looks awesome, and it gets a 10 out of 10. Acceleration does 0 to 60 in like 2.7 seconds, and it gets a 10 out of 10. Handling is great, and it gets a 10 out of 10. Fun factor is cool, it's especially fun to drive. It's fun when you're driving it, knowing you're basically cruising down the street in a UFO, when it gets a 10 out of 10. Finally, cool factor, and this would pretty much shut down any cars and coffee. It's very cool, and it gets a 10 out of 10 for a total weekend score of 50 out of 50.